Alright, so take a close look at this chart right here. You can see that recently, every time Bitcoin has entered the New York session, we have been seeing a massive price increase. This is the power of trading sessions, and in today's video, you will learn what a trading session is, how they work, and you will also learn about the most important and the best times to trade. And by the end of this video, you will also learn how to find this indicator right here in TradingView. But right, so let's begin here by answering the very important question: what are trading sessions? Well, first of all, markets are in general open 24 hours, at least when it comes to crypto and Forex. Forex is closed on weekends, but for crypto is open 24/7. Stock markets are not open 24 hours. They are only open during their trading sessions, and we will talk more about that soon. But here, what you already need to know is that the trading activity is not equal all the time. And these trading sessions follow the major financial hubs, or in other words, the major financial markets like London, New York, and Tokyo. And when it comes to trading sessions, each session usually have a different personality. Some sessions are more calm, while some sessions are more volatile, and some sessions are in general more trending. So your ability and knowing the best times to trade can help you focus on when the markets are most active, and as a result, improve your trading. But right, so now let's take a look at the major sessions and during what time these sessions are. So these right here are the most important session times. And to keep it consistent, I know that you guys are from all over the world, so we all have different time zones. But to keep it consistent, I will use UTC for all the time. So if you want to know the current time of UTC, you can simply, Google UTC time now. But let's take a look at the major sessions. So first of all, we have the Asian session, also known as the Tokyo session. And this session goes from 0 UTC to 9 UTC. Then we have the London session. This is basically my session, or I'm 1 hour away from London. And this session is from 7 to 16 UTC. The next major session, this is basically the largest session in the world. That is the New York session. And this one goes from 13 to 22 UTC. Last but not least, we have the Sydney or Pacific session that goes from 21 to 6 UTC. And this one overlaps with Asia. And as I mentioned, you can use the UTC time to stay consistent no matter where in the world you are. And here, and this is actually very important, some sessions overlap. And when this happens, when we have multiple sessions at the same time, this can increase both liquidity, but also volatility. So for example, from 8 to 9 UTC, or I actually think it's all the way from 7 to 9 UTC, so it might be an error here, Tokyo and London overlaps, because remember, we have the Tokyo session here from 0 to 9 UTC, the London session from 7 to 16 UTC. So we do have an overlap, and this will basically increase trading activity. But here, even more importantly, you can see that we have an overlap of London, which is one of the largest sessions, and New York, which is the most significant session. So this right here is a very active period and very important period. And if we jump back here into TradingView, you can see that we do indeed, for example, recently here in Bitcoin, we saw a massive increase in volatility during this session. Today, here we didn't really see that, a little bit increase. But once again here, 3 days ago, we also saw a big increase in volatility. So this overlap can definitely be worth paying extra attention to. Yet another overlap worth paying attention to is the Sydney plus Tokyo overlap. This one goes from around 23 to 6 UTC. And during this time, you can watch, for example, some important Forex pairs like AUD GPY and NZD GPY. But all right, so now let's take a closer look at the different sessions. And let's begin here with the Asian session that is, as I said, from midnight to 9 UTC. And these sessions can, of course, differ a lot from session to session. But what are some general things we can say about the sessions? Well, when it comes to the Asia session, we usually see a more calmer and range-bound market. So this can make it a little bit better for both beginners and technical traders. So during this session, if you trade Forex, you can focus on things like JPY, AUD, and NCD pairs, and you can also, if you are more on the fundamental sides and trade news, you can of course trade Asian economic news. Also, during this time, crypto can move a little bit unpredictably because during this time we have lower liquidity in the market. Liquidity is a very, very important concept to understand, and luckily I do have a video about that, and I'll make sure to link my liquidity video both up in the video card and the description. I highly recommend that you check that one out. Last but not least, many traders use this session to basically plan for the next session, the London Open. All right, so this is a good segue to the London session. This session goes from around 7 to 16 UTC, and this is one of the highest liquidity session with strong trends, especially in Forex. So when it comes to the London session, you can, of course, look out for the euro, the pound, and CHF. These are some great pairs to trade. By the way, guys, if you want to learn more about Forex trading in general, I do have a video about that as well. So make sure to link that video up in the corner. In this session, you can use it for breakout and trend strategies, but you also need to be, a bit cautious of fake outs, especially during the first hour. All right, so last but definitely not least, we do have the New York session. This is the most violent session, especially when we see the peak activity here when London and New York session overlaps. So when it comes to the New York session, especially lately, the market news can create massive movements in the markets, whether you're trading crypto, Forex, or stocks. News about things like, especially recently, news around the trade, basically the trade war between US and China can create massive volatility spikes. You also have news about interest rates and so on that can both create massive opportunities to make money, but if you're not careful, they can be, very risky times as well. This session is basically great for USD pairs, US stocks and crypto. It's a very, action-filled session. But here after 16, when London closes, the volatility tends to drop a bit. But all right, so now let's jump into TradingView, because now I want to show you guys an indicator that you can use to automatically display the trading sessions on the screen. So to open up this indicator, you basically want to go up here to the Indicators tab in TradingView, and you simply want to search for trading sessions. And I do think that this indicator is available for, on the free version, but I'm not really sure. I personally do have a TradingView Premium, so of course all indicators are available for me. But if this indicator doesn't work for you guys, don't worry, because I do have a special TradingView link. I will make sure to put the link both in the description and the pinned comment. And you can use that link to try out TradingView Premium, so you can use everything in Premium for 30 days. And if you later on decide that you want to upgrade, you can get $15 in bonus. And at the same time, you support the channel with that link. So, don't hesitate to use it if you want to get everything TradingView has to offer. But now, as you can see, when we do have the indicator open, you can clearly see the most important sessions. You can see here recently, the New York session. Every time we have entered the New York session, we have been seeing massive moves in Bitcoin. What you also can see, and what we talked about earlier in this video, is that during the Asia session, right, also known as the Tokyo session, we usually have less volatility. You can see the action is not as big. And last but not least, yet another thing we talked about in this video is that during these overlaps between the London and New York session, we can usually see, big volatility spikes. So what I usually recommend here is, of course, to not, trade only based on the trading session. You should not, have a strategy that says, buy every time we enter the New York session or something similar. But what you can do is, depending on what strategy you're using, let's say you are, a breakout trader, maybe you by backtesting you can find out that your breakout trades maybe works better during the overlap between New York and London, or maybe you realize that the breakout trades work better after the London session closes, and so on and so on. Trading and technical analysis is much about testing your strategies, and trading sessions is basically an additional tool you can use to potentially improve your strategies, and as a result, make more money. And also, guys, last but not least, I do have just a few more things I want to go over, but this video is getting a bit too long, so I think I will wrap up right here. But as always, I will make sure to post this full presentation for our YouTube channel members. If you didn't know, we have an amazing channel member community right here on YouTube, where you will get access to lots of presentations like this. You will get access to material, more advanced material that we don't, that I think most viewers are not really interested on YouTube. So I save more advanced strategies for channel members. You also have some exclusive tools. You will get some exclusive videos and so on and so on. And of course, you will at the same time support my work. So if that sounds interesting, please consider joining the channel membership by clicking join down below. And now, guys, when it comes to trading sessions and basically trading in general, risk management is one of the most important concepts you need to learn about. So if you have the time, I highly recommend to check out this video about risk management next.